Okay, we are recording. Go ahead.
Welcome everyone to the third Thursday call, and this is Thursday, June 15th. I had to look on my smartphone for that because I'm still landing from our great time we had together in Loveland, Colorado at Sunrise Ranch. I'm Noelle Marshall, and this is my beloved.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob.
Bob Warner. Together we call ourselves Light Partners.
We wore our shirts today. We're feeling very official.
And for those of you who are new to the Co-Creators Convergence, the Co-Creators Convergence is a group of a community of conscious evolutionaries inspired by Barbara Marx Hubbard, Dr. Edgar Mitchell, Buckminster Fuller, and most importantly, the pure source in each and every one of us. So we welcome you here tonight, and Bob has brought Giulia. I'm going to let him do all the introductions, but I'm just going to say briefly, if you looked at the email that I sent you about this call, down at the bottom we have a new footer, and it has the dates for next year. So please look, put that on your calendar. I think it begins May 30 or 31st through June 3rd. It's one day longer this coming year, and the theme is Heart Mind. And so it's going to be an exciting year. So it's never too soon. In fact, I might even have it available for registration within 2 weeks. So we had a wonderful turnout this past year. I want to just take a moment and thank the Weavers, the Cosmic Weaver team, including myself, and Bob is always an auxiliary member. One of us is an auxiliary member every year. Darlis Mays, bravo. Kathy Mason, bravo. Ted Murray, bravo. Jennifer Yavanko, bravo. Did I miss anyone?
That's it.
Then our decorating committee, I really want to give a really big shout out to Janice Hollinger, who was bravo. Kathy Mason came up with the idea for the Stargate, and then Janice Hollinger, she really honchoed that thing, and it took us 12 days. Sunrise Ranch just gave us keys to the woodworking shop, and she made just a spectacular. All of us co-created that, but I want to give a real shout out to her. And on the decorating committee, Barb also helped on that. We posted a few pictures on that. So there were so many of us. We signed the back of it. We are so proud of our work. So anyway, Bob is pushing me along, and are you ready to take over, my love?
Yes, let's do this.
All right.
So what we'd like to do this evening, because there's so much energy and excitement. Hello, Edgar. It's good to see you this evening. There's so much excitement from the weekend before last, and but we also have an amazingly special person joining our community this evening. Giulia, you pronounce your last name Roggia?
Roggia.
Roggia. And we know her as someone very, very special to us. We met in 2015 at a Barbara Marx Hubbard weekend. 2013, January or February, we were in LA. And Giulia was here from, I think you were living in England at that time. She was in the U.S. For the world premiere screening of Dr. Stephen Greer's movie Cirrus. And we immediately recognized her as a very precious being who, at that time, I would honestly say she might have felt a little bit uncomfortable in her terrestrial skin, but it was very, very clear right from the beginning that she has crystal clear understanding of her lineage from other places besides the Earth, and that she is very desirous in serving galactic good. Sometimes on our Co-Creators Convergence family, we talk about good of the whole. Well, Giulia is about good of the whole, as in galactic whole. And so it's very exciting to have her with us, particularly because of the theme of this year's live event, for her to be with us this evening. And she's going to do a centering for us later, and then we can just have a dialogue with her about her experiences that she is aware of on this planet, from other times and other places and other dimensions, and just have a general conversation. But we thought it might be helpful to ground some of the energy that's boiling over in our for those that were at the convergence this year, to let anyone who was at the event to share with all of us. I guess the question would be just to check in on how you landed back into your non-CCC life, and any brief reflections for a minute or two at the most about what's life been since you got back from the convergence.
Do you want them to raise your hand?
And so those are, yeah, why don't you raise your hand if you're on screen in video, and then we'll get a couple of them, and then I'll check in with all of you that are on the phone to see if you've got anything you'd like to share as well. So who would like to go first? Okay. Don't be shy, Dinama.
Okay, I'm unmuted then, huh?
You're good. Go ahead.
All right. Well, mostly it was the most intense and expansive conscious co-creation of our galactic resonance pod or field, however we want to number it. I felt we touched all aspects of the shadow, the light, the family star connection. We were given so much information about these amazing phenomenon. And we also found the collective field together so potent. I did. I have never been so galactically touched than in that resonance together. And I know that this is just the beginning of what we will create in the future as conscious co-creators in alignment with Christ consciousness, what's good for the whole of us. So, and my homecoming was 24 hours with no sleep. I spent 3 hours in the Denver airport and was accompanied by 8 different musicians who were delayed on a flight going to Nashville. So we had the violin playing Ave Maria. That was my mother coming from the other side. Then we had a blues singer sing a cappella. And then we had a guitar player. It was such a gift. And they just kept getting up and getting down. So my hours there were beautiful and accompanied with music. Mm-hmm. I know it's the energy I was carrying from our collective. The love frequency was so powerful. And then when I was in the Portland airport, because I missed my shuttle, I was there 3 hours or more, and I was cold and tired. And then I heard this little voice say, well, this is a first world problem, because you're covered and warm and cared for, and you have a bathroom 14 feet away, and the donut shop's right next to me. It's going to open up any minute. So, and then I got it. Like, yeah, I had time to imbue that collective field into the Denver airport, where all these people were crisscrossing. The same thing at Portland, the Portland airport. So even though I was exhausted, I had to get in the car and drive 5 hours back home for a 2 o'clock energy appointment, which straightened my aura out. I got up like I'd slept all day and walked off the table. So everything was perfect.
Thank you. Wow, what an adventure. And I assume that the entire band at the Denver airport will be coming to next year's event. Who would like to go next? Anyone like to share how they've landed back in this 3D world that's not Sunrise Ranch?
Just raise your hand.
I could share.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I don't know if there's anyone raising their hand.
Go ahead, Sarah's on the phone.
Yeah, I just found that the whole experience was such, it called me into a deeper level of embodiment, and so I've been going through kind of a recalibration to catch up with that sort of quantum leap in consciousness that the collective field enabled me to take. It was like, you know, you guys just brought me to a higher level of remembering who I am and being seen, being heard, and being a part of such a dynamic and beautiful group, you know, in the now moment, and also as our galactic connections that are in other time periods, other space periods, are also uplifting my life. So it's been a big, I'm definitely kind of in a brand new sort of bottom line, trying to figure out how to navigate. But I feel like my sound healing, like stepping forward with more authority to bring the gifts of my sound healing, is really what's being called forth now more than ever. And I'm just really so grateful for that time with you all. So yeah. Yep.
Wonderful.
That's all I would say.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Anyone else like to share about their landing home? Yeah, Talia. Hang on a second. We'll unmute it. You got it? Good.
Here. Oh, well, just coming back with you now is inspiring. And I can only speak. Just wonderful experience. Oh my goodness, now that I think about it. We first, well, going to Rocky Mountain National Park and meeting some of you for lunch and just traveling and getting that picture, wonderful elk picture just right next to our car was what a gift.
We planned that for you.
Oh, thank you. Those beautiful velvet horns. And my sister, when I posted it to my family, is this for real? And it was so real. And I introduced Canute and Darlis, who were in the car with us. And it was just such a gift for all of us. And then, you know, seeing my brother and in Longmont and visiting with, in Boulder, Leela and David Tressmer. And then Kathy at the tea house in Boulder. Oh my goodness. That was so, it was extended, our visit. I mean, our CCC time. I'm really glad we took that. And then coming home, just getting into my new rehab program that the Akashic Records have been saying, when are you going to start this? So it's finally begun. And cardiac rehab, since my heart just, anyway, it took its thing. But, and then to extend this beautiful time even more, I got to read Dr. Sam's Anasazi book. I recommend it if you were able to get a copy or can find a copy. But then even more, today I began Canute Allen's Kingfisher.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to interview him, a fellow Norwegian. Well, Norwegian, I'm in spirit anyway. And, or I don't know, maybe July, we'll see. I've got to get this arranged and talk to him about it. If you are listening to this, Canute, know that I'm thinking of you.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Talia. He said it would probably be about 2:30 his time in the morning.
Yeah.
So.
And just for the benefit of those that weren't at the event, Canute is one of the attendees. He's there from Norway. He's written a book called Kingfisher that is made available to all of us as an ebook. Dr. Sam that Talia was talking about was the founder of the Bosnian pyramids, and we had him live streamed him to the event that Jennifer had set up. It was an amazing hour with him, and many people are ready to sign up and go volunteer to do work on the Bosnian pyramids now. So was there anyone else? We're going to need to move on after another 5 minutes or so, but would anyone else like to share? Barb.
Where's Barb?
Barb, right
there
here.
She is. Okay,
Yep.
unmute.
And then Lorraine after that.
Okay. Hi, I just wanted to say what a great time I had. And going into CCC, I'm always a little intimidated, thinking that everybody else has more going on than me or whatever. But starting off right from the start when you guys were setting up, and Bob, when you couldn't find your stuff and I was able to find it with the dowsing rods, it just set me off. So Shelley, thank you. And, oh, really, Source, thank you so much for allowing me to know that I do have these abilities, and just all the new people that I met and all the things I learned. It was awesome. And then I got to stay with my daughter for a few days and come back up to Boulder and see you guys for a few days. And I just had a wonderful time. And I just actually drove in last night about 11 o'clock. So I'm just home and I'm getting into it. So I don't know how that'll be, but everything was great. And I appreciate all the hard work everyone did.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your help.
It was a big help. You were a huge help. And we never will go anywhere now without having at least somebody by our side that has dowsing rods. That's the way it is, Shelley, Darlis, Barb.
Okay, do you want it, Lorraine?
Yeah, Lorraine. Oops, slipped it.
Okay.
There you go.
Can you hear? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
you're good.
So I had an amazing time. There were challenges, but c'est la vie. I came for my first CCC, came in early and stayed with you guys, Noel and Bob, and I had a really magical time. And with Boomer, the big red kangaroo. And it was really beautiful, so I thank you. I know I've thanked you, but I'm thanking you again. I had a beautiful time. Before CCC started, I had these people coming up to me who are from the ranch, and one of them happens to come from the same place, same planet. And so that was amazing. And then I get to meet Kristani, who also is from the same place. So three of us were together, which was amazing. I met so many beautiful people, made beautiful connections. Just for me, really special, because I don't get to meet people like that and be able to communicate and share. So that was really beautiful for me. I love my time there. And then I was arranging a shuttle, and Knut says, I'll take you to Denver Airport. So I had time with Knut, leaving and going to Denver. And that was magical and a real beautiful connection. And then Dallas had arranged for me to stay with beautiful friends of hers, Mark and Marilyn, near Tampa in Florida. And I had a magical week with them, really beautiful time and really connected. And then they brought me halfway to Jupiter, and Dallas came halfway, and we met at Lake Placid. Beautiful, beautiful, huge bodies of water. And I'm now with Dallas in
Jupiter.
I've got to remember all these places I've been to. And I'm having a magical time with Dallas. It's great. And yeah, I know. Big thanks to Dallas. Dallas organizes everything. She's amazing and is so supportive. And on Sunday, I'm flying up to, Buffalo, New York International Airport, and meeting Bob Challenger, and then going up to stay with him for an unidentified amount of time. And Dallas has arranged for a guy, well, she hasn't arranged it, he's been asking her for me to speak on radio. He's in Canada somewhere, Tyson somebody. And Bob is also arranging that where he lives. And to be interviewed by he, and I just can't remember the girls. Yeah, somebody little, is it? Or I can't remember her name, but lots of things happening, lots of events. And after that, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a wonderful time and many treasured memories of so many beautiful people. And some of the activities were fabulous. So, or not some of them, they were all. But I think for me, the Bosnian pyramids and Dr. Sam, is it? And, yeah, just really resonated. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Lorraine. And it's special to have you here. Giulia, I'll mention for your benefit and also for those that didn't attend this year that Lorraine and Kristani that she mentioned and others are as clear as Giulia is about their origin not on this planet. And so it was wonderful to have them as a part of the conversation and a part of what was going on there. So quickly, I want to unmute all those that are on the phone. First off, welcome, Henry. Good to see you, Henry. We're just sharing a little bit for a minute or two about our landing back in our
Re-entry.
Our re-entry. Noelle says our re-entry. Yes, but I'm going to unmute Kate and Larry and see, and also we have someone here on an iPhone says Jeffrey something to see if any of the three of you, since you can't raise, I can't see you if you're raising your hand if you'd like to share anything for a moment.
Hey, this is Trina, and Larry's sitting here too.
Okay,
And
Trina and Larry, go ahead.
Yeah, on Larry's phone. But we had such a great time, and it was so stellar, meaning everybody, and getting to play and blast off. And of course, I took off 2 days afterwards for a Vision Quest out in the desert in Arizona, and just arrived back last night.
Wow.
So I've been flying. It was actually a great precursor to what I did in the desert.
Wow.
And now I'm jumping into real time again, or this probably isn't the real time, but jumping back in to a little bit more 3D, moving my house, so and my office, all in the same weekend. So life is moving fast here. I don't know if Larry has something he wants to add, but so appreciate all of you and lots of blessings to everybody.
She got to leave and I stayed and packed and moved.
Oh.
Your re-entry, Larry, was extremely grounded on the planet.
And I guess you got to celebrate your birthday as well.
I
Happy
celebrated
birthday,
all
Larry.
day. It was great. Thank you. And I had an amazing time with everybody and really enjoyed the experience of just being out with everybody in the same dimensions wherever the heck we were. And I don't think I've come back actually, but I'm trying to as much as I can to tiptoe around. Look forward to more. Take care, everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, Larry.
We'll see you soon. Thank you. We are, I'd like to move to having our conversation with our guest at this time. I know others of you that were at the event may have something to share, and I want to be sure and let you know, I'm going to put this on our Facebook page that was just for the attendees this year, but to remind you that there's the larger CCC Facebook page, which has 1,500 members now plus, and it's wonderful to have us share amongst us that were there, but for the benefit of a few folks, more than a few folks, that were not with us this year in person, for us to be able to share some of our pictures and some of our memories and some of our experiences on the broader CCC page is what this community is about. That is the larger community page. If there's some pictures that you think are embarrassing and appropriate only for our secret page from our Saturday evening activities and things like that, then maybe those pictures should stay there. But all the pictures of Dave dressed up as Edgar Mitchell should be on the big page so that everybody can see that. So I want to shift over and introduce Giulia to you in a little more careful manner. As I said, Noelle and I met her in 2013, and it was just a very special moment. I don't know if I've told you this before, Giulia, but I'm not one, at least so far, I'm not one that can see auras and see energy of people but know that just by seeing someone's eyes how special they are and how different from those that have walked in my world up until that time. But when I first saw Giulia in 2013 in February in LA, I knew there was something extremely unusual, special, and gifted that was there. And so we were very, very blessed to spend time after the weekend event was over. Noelle and I spent time with her and a couple of others at Denny's restaurant or something in LA, and we were there for like 6 hours. It was just the most amazing and fascinating conversation where I was learning with every sentence that came out of her mouth how I could open more and more and more to the potential and the possibilities of what exists in our galaxy and in our universe. And for those of you who didn't read Giulia's self-introduction on the Facebook page for tonight's call, I just want to share a couple of things with you. She says her terrestrial purpose is as a star person, a living bridge between Earth people and extraterrestrial civilizations. Her extraterrestrial purpose is as a galactic facilitator and representative of one of the many galactic supportive teams that exist throughout the universe. And her reason for incarnation on Earth is to facilitate the creation of the first terrestrial team for galactic participation. We are just so excited to have Giulia be a part of this community and have an opportunity for all of us to have a discussion with her. Giulia, you mentioned that you would be willing to do a little centering for us for the 45 minutes or so that we have available to have dialogue with you. If you're still up for doing that, we would give you the microphone and say, please do.
Can you hear me well?
We can.
Okay, well, actually, I didn't. It was up to you. But first, let me say that I'm completely overwhelmed and blown away by what you said. And I want to thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful campfire. I feel like I'm around the fire with all of you, and this is amazing. My heart is beating very fast, and I want to apologize maybe for my lack of English, and I'll do my best to understand all of you. It seems like we are doing a rehearsal here, because there are Earth people, star people, and I'm sure that our rooms are full of many beings who are looking at us with such a smile. And so we are rehearsing understanding each other, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel so excited that honestly, I would leave to you the centering, if you don't mind.
Oops, that is fine. And what I would like to do for that centering, something a little more unusual, I would invite everyone to, the part that won't be unusual is inviting everyone to close your eyes, put your feet, if you can, connecting it, however, through concrete, through the soil, through the buildings, to the Mother Earth that we are blessed to be nurtured by on a daily basis. And I would like to read, as a part, to be the centering, the message that Giulia sent to us as a part of her introduction. And so I invite everyone to close your eyes, be of your heart for this moment, and take this in exactly as it was intended by Giulia. She wrote to us, she wrote to all of us, "Dear Earth people, At this time, we, the Star People, want you to know how much we love you. We want you to know how much we see you and value your big, wonderful heart, courage, and strength. As we keep walking and living side by side with you, we hold your hand in your tremendous unifying vision that you are holding for the good of the whole planet. And we join with you with moved hearts. We are here for you always. We have come to share our lives with you at this time on planet Earth. We are equals and we respect you. We are so grateful for your choice of love, your beautiful love that expands beyond your sphere, merging and melting with the love of your galactic companions as we all journey in this universe together. We invite you to celebrate with us the bond of love that already exists between us, as indeed in every galactic moment we are in togetherness. So, as you're comfortable, you can open your eyes and rejoin this joyful, as Giulia said, this joyful galactic gathering around our CCC campsite, campfire. And I want to start off by way of kicking off a few questions, and then we're just going to open this to dialogue with Giulia, because she said that's really what she would enjoy very much to share with. And ask you if you would start, Giulia, by telling us a little bit more about your journey. Well, I don't want to say life's journey, but your soul's journey, your time on this planet, and tell us more about where you're from and what that non-earthly experience has been for you that you can describe for us. And then go from there.
Hold on just 1 second, Bob. Someone's making some noise.
Okay, I want to find one.
I'm going to mute all.
Okay, we're going to mute all.
And then I'm going to unmute Giulia.
There you go.
Okay, so now we don't have that clicking and clacking.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, of course, being on Earth, I realized that I can recall only as much. But I will share with you, of course, only what I know to be true in my heart. And there we go. I know that I am not from this galaxy, and I am from, I think, another sector of the universe. And I understood this by sharing my experience with beautiful star people coming, for example, from the Pleiades and Sirius and Arcturus, wonderful star people on the planet who are, I should say, quite similar to Earth people in the sense that their home planet, their society, their biology, the elements of their planets are quite similar to Earth. And this made me understand that also because of the history they tell about regarding wars in the galaxy and all sorts of things, made me realize and recall that actually I may come from another sector of the universe. I come from a very, very small planet. And we are borderline between material world and not material world. We are not humanoid. And the closest thing that I can say to share with you somehow our appearance, just, you know, as an introduction and a training, is imagine the atoms and electrons of the air, of the atmosphere of Earth, just closer, denser, and that's what our bodies are made of. So it's not vapor, it's not smoke, it's just kind of condensed air. We are very elongated, we don't have organs, and we don't have reproduction systems, so we are the way we are all our life, and we are, there is no children, there are no elderly people, we just are. And I left my, our characteristic, I should say, has a civilization is relationships, sentiments, emotions. So we have no technology. We don't have the 3 natural kingdoms like on Earth. So no mineral kingdom, no plant kingdom, no animal kingdom. And we don't have buildings, we don't have roads, we don't have means of transport, we don't need them. And so when we need to go somewhere, we just ask to our neighbors or whoever is passing by to join them in their starships and their means of transportation. So I decided to leave my planet many years ago, because I wanted, my passion has always been the connection between civilization and especially the sense of togetherness, interplanetary togetherness and intergalactic togetherness. And so I wanted to join one of the many galactic supporting teams. And in my galactic life, I spend most of my time in one of these teams, which has precisely this characteristic of the representatives, the members of this team come from all over the universe, and they are very different. We are very different from each other in our biology and in our appearance and all the rest of it. But of course, the point of connection is the heart. And Bob, help me. And actually, I'm open to any question. Well, I would also like to say that I'd love to open this conversation very much to you, because the works for the creation of the first terrestrial team for galactic participation are open. And so we are so excited to find the first terrestrial volunteers and all the terrestrial facilitators who will support the creation of this, which is one of the greatest moments of Earth history.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Giulia. We really want to open up this discussion. And particularly to talk about this galactic support and whatnot. I'm just personally so curious about the history, I'll call it, your lineage and how you have found your way to this planet. Now, you may have said earlier, but part of the connection was a little bit rough. Did you say how many souls there were on the planet that you came from?
I did, actually, very few. There are 2 numbers that keep coming to me, which is 29 and 30. Wow. That's how it is. I know it sounds weird.
Well, It does. A whole planet that's got less of a population than the CCC sitting in the round at Sunrise Ranch. Noelle, you had a quick question also.
Yeah, Giulia, when we first met you, you talked about how difficult it was being in a body, having a body.
An Earth body.
And about how the family that you were born into, if you could talk to us also about how you're bilingual, you speak Italian and English. You also talked about your energy centers. The chakra system is not the same. You've had many health issues. And I was just wondering if you could talk about that in terms of, being, in terms of having a body, what that's like for you.
Yeah. Yes, I think that for me it's very physically heavy because water is not at all my element. Like, I don't know if you would incarnate in any other planet that is based not on carbon, but say ammonia or something else. So although, of course, you are provided with a body vessel for the incarnation, but your nature, your essence recalls what is different, what is natural to you, and perceives the contrast. So this is the very first thing. So it's very heavy physically. And of course, this involves a difficulty in the social interactions, because of course on Earth it's beautiful seeing Earth people, but also star people blending beautifully, loving water, loving nature, and having a great time. While for me, nature is exhausting.
Wow.
And but eventually, yes, about the chakras, we don't have chakra system, and in the universe, we are not only based on chakra system. And here is very useful as a point of reference, and I am fascinated about that. But I acknowledge that for me is slightly different. So, yes, regarding family, I don't think I'm so different from anybody else, because we are all somewhat traumatized children, isn't it? coming from whoa, what a beauty, what a love, and coming here in such a confusion, and the relationship is the thing, I think, on this planet. All the other issues are easy to solve very quickly as soon as we sort the relationship problem.
Yeah.
So my journey has been very, 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 very tough. I had 6 nervous breakdowns and 3 chronic illnesses, but I'm finding the way through that, and it's all good. And now the fun begins.
Well, I also want to talk about how you learned English. And what I remember is that you had a real bonding with Disney movie and Disney animals and characters. Do I remember that correctly?
I was sharing with you about that regarding the fact that wherever we go in the universe, the benevolence of the intention is at the core of all interactions. So although my experience of Earth has been very hard, there is something amazing in Earth people, which is their beautiful heart. When they are in their nature, in their essence, in their heart, it's home. So during my teenager time, when slowly being vulnerable, being idealistic, being heart-centered and emotional was not popular, was not appropriate anymore, because you were prompted by parents and society and teachers to think of career, finding a partner and have a family, so the concept of friendship falls apart and so on. My only source of survival was cartoons, Walt Disney cartoons. And at that time, a book which I was blessed to receive in my life that really helped me. And the book is from Leo Buscaglia. I don't know if you heard of it.
Buscaglia.
Yes. And that was very important to me, because as a teenager, as I was, losing more and more friends, because I was focused on heart and friendship, and my friends were focused on other things in life. The fact that there was, to me at that time, from my point of view, an adult that was feeling the same things I was feeling in my heart, and a teacher, a university teacher, to me was amazing. So for many years it was just me and him. I never had the chance to meet him. So yeah, did I answer your question?
Noelle, answer the question?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to.
Well, and I want to open it up to others. I have millions of other questions. At the center of what I hear you saying, Giulia, about relationships and how significant that is, and even as your experience as a young person on the planet, all these other things that continue into this day that clutter that which is most important, that of love and that of relationships, is really wonderful to hear you talk about that. I have thousands of other questions. I could talk for hours, so I want to
people
open
to submit them by chat.
If you want to submit something by chat, do that. If you're on video and just want to wave your arm, we'll unmute you so that you can comment or talk to or ask questions of. Carrie, you're first, and those that are on the phone, I'll check in with you in just a couple of minutes as well. So let's enjoy our time together. Carrie, go ahead. You're unmuted. Carrie Dennis is from Phoenix, Arizona.
Thank you. Nice, Giulia. I have been to the planet I'm from. I have.
Carrie, excuse me 1 second. Giulia, can you hear her?
You need to, yeah.
Not much.
Okay,
Let me.
I've turned up the volume. That does it.
Can you get closer?
Yeah, just get closer if you can, Carrie, and if you can turn up, any others that can turn up volume, that would help.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Carrie.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. I have been to the planet that I come from. I was transferred there by accident. It's a long story, but anyway, I wound up there, and I don't know the name of the planet. It's now called something else. It's now called incarnation, and it's where they bring people who have a need to shift or change, or who, they're working with our planet a lot, and they're taking people who would have died, like for instance in an air crash where their body would have been obliterated. They're taking them to this planet. They have no time. They're located in a vortex that allows them to connect with any time, any space. Like for instance, I'm living presently in my native position, and this is some of the things that they told me. One of the things they tell me is that this race has a very unique gift. And the gift that this race has is its connection between the emotions and the consciousness. That this creates a creativity that doesn't happen very often. So these are things I learned from going to this place. And I just wanted to say that it's nice to know somebody who remembers having been somewhere else. I have felt that all my life since I was a very small child, that I didn't belong here, that this was not my home, that I came from somewhere else. The planet that they're using for anchoration, they caught it as a rogue planet. It was a planet from somewhere else in the universe, and I met the indigenous people of that planet who set things up so that if their planet was ever captured and rehabilitated, that they would awaken. And so they did, and I am one of their children. And I came here as a result of an experimental program that was done on this planet by their scientists to try to develop a higher conscious being from the animals that lived here and their own DNA. And they were punished for that, and I became a member of the people of Earth because I was within the group that did that, and we were made to stay here and to live here. And no supplies came to us anymore. Our ships no longer worked after about 100 years. We were to the moon and back. We set up bases on the moon, but lots of things have changed because we can't get supplies from our planet, so our ships, whatever, have deteriorated and no longer work. And so now we're just living as a community on this planet. Have you ever heard of us?
No, actually, but this is so fascinating, so exciting, and thank you for your sharing. I have met, as you can imagine, many civilizations so far, but as a terrestrial incarnation, I'm honest and I can recall just a little of this part.
That's okay. I just thought I'd ask, just in case. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
If I could
Thanks, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie. And I could interject here. Carrie has written a book called In Less Than a Second. And it's, I don't know, almost a 1,000 pages. I mean, it's long and it's very detailed. And you can go on her journeys with her, and it's fascinating. It's really fascinating. And I would suggest, I told her it's the greatest science fiction, but it's not. But some sci-fi readers might want to read it and put a show on about her life. Very fascinating. So In Less Than a Second, and she's very generous and gives that to people free. So maybe we could post it on our website, Carrie, if that was okay with you.
Certainly. Thank you.
Sure.
So it reminds me of the question, Giulia, have you met other an obvious question, have you met other star persons while you have been incarnate on this planet? I mean, other than Carrie, but have you met others?
Yes, I have. I think I should add to my previous answer the fact that this is the first time that I come to this galaxy. Well, actually, I had 2 previous incarnations on Earth just as a preparation to be able to cope with this incarnation for the mission that I am serving. So it's so funny because I am in the same situation as Earth people, not knowing about the story of the planet and not knowing really about the story of the galaxy here, the Milky Way. So I'm very curious, and I was kind of surprised because when I arrived, I thought that people would know and people would tell me, you know. But so we are in the same boat, and
quarantined.
yeah, I don't know what happened, but we'll find out, that's for sure. So regarding meeting star people, yes, I have. Not many, but I have. and they are very well adjusted. They have blended very well in this society. And yes, I met mainly people from the Pleiades, from Arcturus, from Andromeda, from Sirius, and recently one star person from the Antenna galaxy, from another galaxy.
Wow. Well, other questions, comments? Who'd like to? Who else? Oh, anyone else like to share? Ask questions. Jump in this dialogue. Darlis.
And then Shelley.
And then Shelley. Go ahead, Darlis.
Hi, Giulia, thank you so much. And I just have one simple question. Can you please come to CCC next year? With that, I'm complete.
Giulia, our theme for next year is all about the heart. And Darlis is one of the planners for next year, and there you go. So there's the official invitation.
Can I just mention one thing?
Sure.
We really tried to get Giulia here this year. And she said she was almost on the plane coming. And then, Giulia, will you explain why you didn't come?
Yeah. Sorry, I find it a bit hard to share this, but I will.
Oh.
It's the fact that I really struggle in a very natural environment. The only natural environment on Earth that is, let's say, bearable for me easily is when I am at the mountains. I don't know in English miles, but in Italy we would say 100, 500, 1,500, 2,000 meters above sea level, because the energy there is different. The entities that live there are different. Even the entities of the three kingdoms are different. And with them, I feel more comfortable. So, knowing that, you know, Loveland and Sunrise Ranch is so beautifully in nature, and somewhat also certain topics that I knew that you were going to experience together, I felt kind of struggling, and I didn't feel ready. But maybe next year I will.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your question, Darlis.
I really hope so.
Thank you for your honesty and transparency and answering that
Yeah.
honestly, Giulia. Thank you so much. Shelley, you're next. Then I'm going to read a question from Linda and then Henry. Go ahead, Shelley.
Actually, it's really perfect that Linda just shared that question, because it totally ties to what was going to move inside of me. First of all, I just have to say, I'm so happy to be with my family. It means so much to me. And I did make a huge choice not to be there this year for what was coming in front of me to be in Australia. And very deep. I almost feel like it's like, 40 days in the desert, that kind of an experience, that Christ consciousness going deep inside. And so anyway, I just love you all. I feel you all. I'm so happy to feel this universal connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was really interesting to me was the first thing that was coming up when I was hearing you, Giulia, thank you so much for coming on, was how amazing it is that no matter what planet or what consciousness, it's when you start talking about the heart, that this is the singular point of reference, whether we're on Earth and it being a toroidal field and the heart being that center place of intelligence. And you describe it with so much joy and so much love, this experience of love that you feel that is driving you from your purpose, from where you are from. And I wanted, and this really ties in. I'm going to actually read Linda's question because I think it ties in very much to what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
So Linda, so hi Linda. Wait, really quick. I just have to do this. Owl wings. Just given to me last night, so very interesting. So Linda's question was, how do you know that someone is from another galaxy? Is it your matching consciousness or something physical that you recognize in one another or energetic? And this kind of brings tears to my eyes that this came up right now, because it wasn't so much a question, but I was just going to sort of drop this droplet into the ocean of our collective consciousness and to you. So what's really interesting to me, just really quickly, when my first partner, my first husband, he was totally into astral travel, and it totally freaked me out. I mean, to the nth degree. I was like, and finally I was like, okay, I'll try it. And then it was like 2 seconds in and I was out. So somehow really wanted to grab onto the earth. And take it 50 more years or 40 more years, and this past journey that I'm on, a couple of weeks ago, I was, probably about a month and a half ago, I was in New Zealand. And I went to a place called Castle Hill, and I've been really connected to the Waitaha people, the water bearers of this planet. But the thing is, obviously, they understood the stars. They understood they were from another planet. And so they use the water as a way to move and grow and bring. And they were the water carriers of peace. They were the peaceful nation. And so this summer, I went to this place called Castle Hill, and we opened, as I walked into this absolute, they call it a wananga, a place of where the baskets of knowledge of this star wisdom is held. And I stepped over the stream. I could not stop crying. I was just bawling and bawling and bawling and bawling and bawling. And what was happening internally was I was realizing that, because I always looked at all you gorgeous, galactic people. I was like, they're all galactic. They all understand this. I'm not one of them, but I love you all, but I'm not one, I'm about the heart, right? And when I walked in there, I had this total realization of being a star walker. And I had completely resisted it my entire life. And I feel that just coming on, I'm just getting like goosebumps, that there's some expanding consciousness that's happening on the planet. And what's coming to me, and you'll have to thread this all together, because I realize that one of the things that I do every day, and is connected to Mary Magdalene and the Christ consciousness, is I am the light I shall remain, there is no time. And that was actually part of her message. And in that no time, when I actually go into that, I feel this home, this sense of home, this sense my body completely relaxes and I can move on the planet. So I'm with Linda's question and that, I feel like I'm handing you a big chunk of the pie, but love to hear whatever is coming to you around that, because I feel like it's actually how the earth, a lot of the earth, humanoids, you said that, really hold it. There's a lot of fear about opening to that consciousness and understanding our relationship to it, be it cosmic or galactic, however you want to call it. So thank you.
Yeah.
That was
well, it's a very gentle process, and it's wonderful what you're saying, because you see, it's very useful to start softly to shift the point of view from Earth people and extraterrestrials to Earth people as part of the alien family in the universe. Because you see, when we meet each other in the universe, it's such a joy. It's such an excitement. And we have learned that we have very different physical appearance. So to us, for example, us meaning in general, Earth people may be very scary to see physically and cause puzzlement and, and maybe fear. And so what we know that is necessary and now comes natural, and it will be for Earth people as well, is to realize that we need to be very gentle when we meet, and no matter what physical appearance, whatever, just being able to tune immediately into the benevolence of the intention. You know, there are so many civilizations that are not humanoid. They don't have a heart center. Nevertheless, their love, how we call it on Earth, is huge, as much as the wonderful Earth people. And so we tune into that, and we allow to kind of breathe each other in that. And one of the trainings of the first volunteers of the Terrestrial Team for Galactic Participation will be just this. You will learn to meet many, many different civilizations, different physical appearance, and exercise in being in that space. And from there, then you can share science, technology, and all the exciting information that each civilization has developed. So thank you for talking about the heart. This is really the key of the universe. And Earth people are aliens to all other civilizations, but we are all wonderful, and we are all here together in this intergalactic journey.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you, Giulia, and thank you, Shell, and Linda, for your question. This is I just whispered to Noel, something special is happening here tonight. I just know it is, and I'm so glad that you're on here, Shelley, to bridge what your experiences have been. I mentioned at the beginning that we're going to get kicked out of the library on the hour, so we have to adjust. I'm going to adjust right now because this has got to continue on. I see iPhone Jeffrey Anderson has his hand up, and I think Henry wanted to say something, and I know others want to participate, Kim. So I'm going to go off the screen, pack our things so we can go out of the library. Noel will hold down the fort on the dashboard here for a minute or two, and then when we have to leave the library, we'll just step out front of the library and keep this call going, because this is too important. I really feel like, and we obviously have to get around to having conversation about the Terrestrial Team for Galactic Participation and how people that are on this call and that will listen to it later or re-listen to it later will be working with you, Giulia, and how that's going to start to take next steps. So I'm going to step off screen for a minute. You want to go ahead and either grab Henry or Jeffrey.
Okay, I'm going to go over here to Henry Lepler. Welcome from Santa Fe.
Thank you. Great to be here and see everyone. Let me see, two things, or one thing came to mind of, seeing ourselves also as star people are not terrestrial is the distinction that we call our star, that's the center of our solar system, a sun. So we sometimes think of it in a different way, partly because of that. But also, one of the things that, Giulia, that you said at the beginning really spoke to me, and that was that the passion of connection of civilizations, and so that kind of sparked something in me. I was trying to understand or open to what that means, and maybe open to that in my explorations, in my deepening of understanding. It really resonates for me, of just opening to that connections. And as I even think about it, I can feel the star energies, kind of through my body. that help, you know, it's like those connections are being made. So that's something I want to explore further. So I appreciate just considering that. And I'm not sure fully what that means, but the heart is basically the vehicle for all of those connections. So you've kind of expanded and opened another doorway for me, and maybe that's also a way to see beyond the terrestrial distinction that we make of ourselves. And also a second thing I wanted to say is that after our CCC convergence, and we actually were in groups and expressions or exploring different planets that we might have come from. That was such a very interesting experience to open to the blessing, to open to the gifts that we have from different experience with the description of the planet that we were given. So when I returned afterwards, I was also, I don't necessarily have a clear picture in my conscious mind of what planet or where I came from, but I opened to the frequency, you know, open to my own energetic or the qualities that really resonate within me. And through that, I opened to imagining or connecting with my planet of origin, if there is just one planet. So it was very interesting. I still want to explore that more. You know, I was considering what, you know, if I was from an illumined planet, what that might be and what quality. So anyway, this is a wonderful exploration. So I thank you for being here and everyone for your sharing.
Yeah. May I add something, Noel? Yeah. Thank you so much, because you introduced a concept which I experience daily in my galactic life, which is when we meet, whether it is the first time, I mean, between different civilizations, whether it is the first time or not, it's a real joy and excitement, because what we do is to drop completely our egos and what we know about the planet we come from, our galactic experience. We drop it completely, because our love for the truth and for finding out what this universe is all about is greater than any knowledge and any understanding that we have achieved till that moment. So what we do is we share everything that we know, and the other shares everything that he, she, or it knows, and we put it together, and we become something completely new and different. And we bring this new to our own civilization. So we all change, we all transform through these experiences. Because what I know to be true, at least the sector of the universe where I come from, is that we are so excited about finding out what this universe is about. We know there are other universes, but for now we are trying to concentrate on this, focus on this, and we know that each and every civilization is a part of the puzzle. And until we don't meet all of us, we don't have the whole picture. So it's a real feast when we meet each other, and dropping everything in for the love of the truth of you know what it is amazing. And this is the driving force. And so this creates a field of peace, kindness, relaxation, because we look in the same direction. Thank you.
Okay, unmute. We need to transition out of the library, so I've asked Kathy Mason. Is she still here?
Kathy?
Kathy, I've made you host, so you can stop and start the meeting in case we get disconnected. Right now, I want to go to...
So Kathy, just to clarify then, the recording should continue on because we're going to step outside of the building and we might drop before we go around to a stronger signal and rejoin the call. Hopefully not, but maybe so. And this is just too juicy for us to stop.
So,
thanks,
right,
Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. Always there for CCC. That woman is always there for CCC. Okay, I'm going to unmute iPhone Jeffrey. Would you identify yourself? And let me see. I'm trying to unmute you.
You might have to unmute yourself.
I think you have to unmute yourself, Jeffrey. I can't unmute you.
Am I there now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my first time, so I'm not the most technologically advanced person, so bear with.
Who is calling, please? Your name?
This is Jeffrey. Jeffrey.
Oh, hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Is this Jeffrey Westfall?
No, it's Jeffrey Anderson. I'm new to your group.
Fabulous. Welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me extend my love to you all first and foremost. And I'm very touched to come into contact with people, all of you. There's a lot of love out here. I just want you to know that. And but I do have 2 questions. I'll keep these as brief as possible. My first question being her experience. I'd like to know, we're talking about love and the power of love and the heart. What has she experienced here on this planet as far as what's the human race here is what we call its biggest impediment to fully opening up to this and allowing this power to advance our civilization? And then secondly, I'm going to share this. I won't go into too much detail, but earlier in my life, I'm 49 years old, as far as I know right now. Anyway, I had 2 experiences that were not good experiences with entities or whatever. I don't know what they were, but they weren't good. Are there forces working against those who are trying to connect and become more in tune and sensitive to the power of love? And that's basically all I have to ask.
Okay.
Thank you,
Well,
Jeffrey. Those are great questions.
Yeah, indeed. Well, first of all, let me tell you that Earth people are so beautiful. I mean, their heart is amazing. So courageous, so generous, so I don't have the words to express that. So it is true that at the moment this is kind of shadow, and it is still in place for each and every one of us when we incarnate here, whether we are Earth people or Star people. It is this heart, this love, this joy, this beauty is really present when we are children. And then there is this crazy thing going on that this kind of numb us. I think it's the right verb, numbs, yes. And we have to kind of recall and go back to our vulnerability. I say us because I've been affected as well. I have been very, very committed not to lose myself, not to lose my nature for my whole Earth incarnation. So as a suggestion, I think I understood well what you were asking with the first question. Just please, Earth people, surrender to your beauty. Just surrender to your beauty. You're amazing. The more and more people do that and get together, they create the living example for all the people around us who have been so much traumatized and shocked in many, many ways. And each one is different. We cannot say that, you know, oh, your shocking experience is not so terrible. There are worse things on the planet. We are all unique, and our sensitivity is unique. So we have all been really shocked somehow. So I forgot what I was saying. No, I was saying just surrender and yes. Sorry, I've lost the thread.
I think one of the questions was about how to deal with fear on the planet. And I'm gonna.
Oh yes, sorry. I was saying that the moment we are a living example, we ignite that beautiful spark of light that is indestructible in each and every Earth person. So more than any word, than any movie, than any book, which are so important and have been so important so far to keep us going and find ourselves back. But if we can create living examples of how to be in collective consciousness, how to be in true friendship, true love, true togetherness, the people around us can observe with time, because at first they may not believe that it's true. They will think, oh, let's see in 1 month time if they're still friends. Oh, let's see in 6 months time or 1 year time. But when they observe how we overcome any misunderstanding so gracefully, and how we talk to each other, how we look into each other's eyes, how we just gently but steadily drop all the conditioning and the false beliefs, that's powerful. And, you know, all these teams around the world achieving this and being a living example, I tell you, Earth people can't wait to join. They will make no resistance whatsoever. So this is to complete the first question. And regarding the second question, I am very honest, at least in the sector of the universe where I come from, in my whole galactic existence, I've never, ever met a not benevolent or negative civilization. I know that there is a lot of talking about this topic here on Earth at this time, and probably since, you know, the very beginning of the history of this planet, and I'm very curious to find out what it is all about, and if it is a distortion, if it is a projection of how Earth people are structured at the moment. I really don't know. I'm sorry I answered to that question. I can only honestly say that I've never met a negative being.
So Julia, this is Kathy Mason, and Noella. Hi, ciao.
Ciao.
Mi dispiace che non posso scrivere prima di qui.
No worries.
Okay. There are a couple of things that are being said in the chat. I wanted to share. Henry put Barbara Marx Hubbard's to me, I sense that may include a deeper understanding the people in our group have studied under Barbara Marx Hubbard, and her work talks about the evolution of our humanity to a more conscious, telepathic, and harmonious. And so I'm sure that's why you're here. So, and wanted to also share about your terrestrial team for galactic participation and how some of us might be able to support you in that.
Yes. So, Kathy, sorry, what is the first question?
Well, it was a statement about, the first part was about Barbara Marx Hubbard.
Yes.
And how her evolution of our species on Earth, her structure is that we're evolving to what she calls the universal human, which is a more, just like we're on your planet, there are 29 or 30 things where we would work more as one being in oneness. So she's saying is happening now, and that's the process we're going. And that's what Henry was stating.
Yeah.
The next, yes.
I got it. This is so fascinating to me. You know that I'm very honest. I'm going to share with you the little that I know, and I'm going to share with you only what really my inner knowing is saying. So I am observing this conversation about evolution, and I'm very curious and excited to find out what it is about, because where I come from, there is not such concept. Of course, you are already, from my perspective, from our perspective, you are already universal beings. I mean, you are with us, you are our family, and you are universal beings. Maybe you have been very busy in other matters and other concerns in your history, and not all of you, but you know, most of Earth people for thousands of years. But to us, you are already that. And where I come from, there is no concept of evolution. We are all equals, we are all a continuum, and we are just having experiences that we then share all together and between civilizations, so we become something different. But it's not the concept that is explained here on Earth. But it seems like it's going on here. So I'm very curious to learn and to see this. So this is regarding the first question.
The second question, I want to make sure that you get a chance to share how we might be able to participate with you and your terrestrial team for galactic.
Yes, because this is all about you. Star people in this case are just facilitators. From my perspective, I am of course describing to you the timeline that I've come here to serve. of course, there are many, many, many other timelines, but I can speak for this one. And in this timeline, this is amazing because, of course, you are this close to full shift and to harmonizing the whole planet. And there is going to be the moment when you are going to realize that, wow, we made it.
Yeah.
The whole planet is harmonized, and there will be celebrations held all over the planet. And by that time, of course, thanks to you as well, who are so open to extraterrestrial concept, the contact and the knowing that there are other beings and life forms in the universe would be the norm, would be shared truth on the planet. So Earth people will shine like never before. And because Earth people are such an amazing race, their hearts are wonderful. When they will understand, they will learn that they have been loved and supported during the whole transition, their hearts will melt. And they will be eager to participate. They will be eager to be a support in the well-being of the universe. So they will desire naturally to share their amazing journey of transformation with other worlds. And so they will, when they will know about all the Galactic Supporting Team existing, they will desire to create the first Terrestrial Team for Galactic Participation, which finally will enable them to fully experience, enjoy the delight of galactic life, which is their born right. So they will, this is your project. Well, I'm, of course, saying you in general. I know that there are many star people in this wonderful campfire. But for the moment, I'm talking to Earth people, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so there will be Earth people desiring with all their heart to be the first ambassadors of Earth. And they will be totally supported in their preparation because they will, need to adjust a little bit of things, and they will be supported from a whole range of facilitators from Earth and also facilitators not from Earth. So have traveled the transition consciously, like you have, maybe each and every one of you in your own sector of life, of, like Barbara calls them, I'm thinking of the wheel of co-creation, but where is your passion? You have become so incredibly skilled and attuned with your own passion and joy, and you will be so important for this, which I call the platform project. And just to give a 3D, but it's gonna change, of course. Your participation, your skills will be so important because these volunteers will need to be able to explain and tell the story of Earth to other worlds. So they will need to know everything. So, and this is from the Earth facilitators. And then, of course, there will be not from Earth facilitators. And in that group, there would be us, star people, and I'm talking to you beautiful people on this call, and also extraterrestrials and beings from other dimensions there will be representatives of the energies of the universe and a representative of the universe itself. So it will be an amazing platform, lots of facilitators together with the volunteers to create this amazing event on Earth. And let me know when you're ready, when I can share with you maybe an email, because I'd love to be in touch with you and hear your intuitions, your visions for this, and this is your adventure. I'm just facilitating, just trying to support and spread the word of this timeline. But you are the protagonist.
So, Giulia, I think Kim had also a question to ask. Kim, can you unmute yourself?
Where are you?
She's right, well, on my screen, she's right below you. But, okay.
I have the whole gallery.
Okay.
There she is.
There I go. Let me turn the volume up. I was just lovingly going, I need to go now, mwah, to everybody, and you've called on me. So, several things. One, I tend to, and now I feel you feeling and seeing me. When I feel, watch, see you talk, feel you talk, it's like I get pictures of what you are speaking. I even see thin, elegant, tall, and I feel energy from until hearing and feeling you. I've felt since I was little that I had this vision of coming for this time. I from another, was it galaxy you stated? Where exactly I'm from. I just wanted to share that I've had these visions since I was little of coming for this time. From what we just did at CCC. This enhancing it greatly, this expanded experience, galactic cooperation and galactic hello, if you will. I do invite, whether Kathy or Noel or whatever, I would love to stay, and I would also love to know, where do you live in Italy? I spent a month. Oh, Milan. Okay, beautiful. I have not.
It's close to Damanhur.
It's close to Damanhur. Well, much more than Tuscany or Rome.
Yes.
And so, the words are coming. I really wanted to connect about how much I saw and felt. The clarity of it was very precise. And not that it doesn't happen other places, but the ease of the clarity was quite substantial. And I want to thank you very much for unabatedly sharing who you are and the light that you be, and this expression. I did also want to, this is one other thought, Loveland Denver, Colorado is at a mile high, if that helps. We are at higher altitude. So if that helps in your consideration, it's important for you to take care of you, and yet we are at higher elevation. And you can check on that and tune into that. So thank you, and I very much, I will share one, I have this one other thing, excuse me, I don't want to talk too long. That for me and some of the work that I do and the expanding work that I came here to do, we have a heart in this physical body, and yet we are a cell of a larger universe, of a larger body. And then I invite that we have at least a heart resonance in every single cell of our body too. And when I resonate at the heart of my entire being, it seems to hugely amplify that heart field and heart connection.
Beautiful.
And so to really connect with the heart of every single cell in space in the entire universe. Yeah, so.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have one other question that's my question. Giulia, do you know anything about inner Earth beings? Are there beings that you've been in contact with that do not live on the surface of the Earth?
No. I'm very honest. I've never been in the Milky Way. I've been on Earth only 2 other times, and the first one I just couldn't make it, was too much. The second one was a bit better, but I know very little about this planet.
Oh, okay.
And I wish you could tell me the story.
Well, I'm interested in that because I feel that there's lots of forces helping support us as we ascend. And so I just was curious if you had a sense of the other dimensional beings and the elementals and the divas and all of the support that we have. I wonder.
Not so far.
Okay.
And because I have a hard time being close to the 3 kingdoms at the moment, because I'm sure this will change, because the shift will involve everything and everybody and the planet itself, because this planet is, I know that, sorry, maybe I'm going to say something not popular, you know, not, but I'm honest, I'm gonna say anyway. I feel that this planet wants to soften and to transform and become a really hosting planet, because in the universe, at least in my experience, when we go on a planet, that planet really
expands.
Supports.
Oh, okay.
We land and we feel totally relaxed because there is no threat whatsoever from the nature kingdoms, from the planet itself, while here, Earth, the way I perceive it, is very agitated, is aggressive, and really I want to say my full appreciation and understanding for Earth people who live on a planet that gives them a constant background tension. I know that it's very unpopular what I'm saying, and in my life, I know that this has created some negative reaction in people, but I think that a lot of the unrest that Earth people are experiencing, the difficulty regarding the heart and sharing the love, is this struggle for survival and these worries and this tension. So regarding the inner earth and the nature kingdoms. I think there is a whole transformation, and yet there is more to come, because this terrestrial team who will leave for the first mission, one step backward. Within the Earth facilitators, there would be representatives of the three nature kingdoms, of course.
Oh.
So they will have with us made the transition, and we will have with each other a whole completely different relationship.
Wonderful.
It's going to be so beautiful. All our dreams will come true, talking to animals, understanding plants, being able to ask plants, whatever, and really have a clear answer, and with the mineral kingdom. So their participation will include the fact that they will be eager to share with other worlds their experience. So they ask to the volunteers, to the first terrestrials on a galactic mission, to join them, so they will share with the representatives of the other nature kingdoms of other planets what they have been through, and the wonderful achievements and harmony now that they have with humans, with Earth people. And this will support, for example, the plant kingdom of another planet, of another civilization, who is going through the same harshness or conflict with their humanoids or, beings living on the planet. They will be eager to be supported in their transition as well. And so new alliances will be created between kingdoms.
Wonderful.
This to say how precious and important is going to be this first Earth mission in the galaxy, because you will create the possibility of new alliances and more love to be shared even between kingdoms. And this is going to be amazing.
Sounds fantastic. How soon can we start?
Now.
Well, I see that, Kathy, this is Bob. I see we're losing some people on the East Coast here. The ones that are ready to get up and have breakfast, like Giulia, and the ones that are ready to have lunch, like Shelley, are still with us. But I just wanted to say, this evening has been amazing, and obviously there's a great desire here for continued conversation, continued interaction, continued support. And I asked Giulia if she was on Facebook, and she said no, that she wasn't a big participant in that. So obviously Noelle and I are going to have to teach her at least enough about Facebook to at least get on one group on Facebook, because I really feel there's a desire for continued support and love connection. And we'll look forward to seeing Giulia in Italy, when those of us that are going to go to Dominar and Bosnia next spring get ourselves organized for that outing. And so we'll get to actually give her a physical hug as well as this virtual hug. And we'll look forward to that as well. And as you talked about the different kingdoms, Giulia, I was thinking of the music of the plants and the things that we've been exposed to as a result of going to Dominar, and how
very important.
Yeah, that's also a piece of this whole puzzle. Many of you that are part of this community are so connected to other elements of Earth.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, is there anything else that you wanted to say? I'm feeling like maybe we should wind down for the evening, or morning, as the case may be. Didn't know if you have anything else.
No, I don't have it, except that there's a lot of hearts and loves, and people saying sounds good to me, and then people saying they have to leave. But it sounds like everyone on this call has been very excited about the good news and wants to participate in it with you.
May I say something?
Please do.
Yes. Well, first of all, before I get familiar with Facebook, which may take a little bit because, as I explained at the very beginning, my nature is zero technological, so but I'll do my best, and I'm absolutely okay with that. I would like to share an email, if I can, so that we can still be in the meanwhile. And also, I would like to add that I'm very available to come to USA anytime, because this is very important what is going on, and I'm totally devoted to this timeline. So we may not have to wait 1 year before hugging each other. I can't hear anybody, but if I may, I would like to share my email so that in the meantime we can connect. Yes?
Yes, please do.
Okay. It's very G is lowercase, all one word, Galactic Facilitator at gmail.com. Galactic Facilitator at gmail.com.
Galactic Facilitator at gmail.com. So we can individually stay in contact with you immediately.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes. You're very welcome. I can't wait.
This has been fantastic, Giulia. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for your participation and your heart in this evening. This has been absolutely delightful, and we will get the recording up tomorrow. I don't think it'll be tonight, but tomorrow we'll get the recording. And I'll send you a copy of the recording link, Giulia, by email. And I know there are others that want to watch this, as well as to listen to the last part after they had to drop off. So blessings, blessings, blessings to the galaxy and from the galaxy for everyone. Good night, everyone.
Mille grazie.
Good night.
Grazie. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ci vediamo.
Ciao.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Julia.
you.
Kathy, you'll need to end the call.
I unmuted
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
I unmuted.